Hello, friends. Welcome to the Hurry Up. I'm Roger Ebert. She's Jean Siskel. We're at the movies. Actually, we're not at the movies. It just looks like that. We're in the team meeting room. Decided to mix it up a little bit today. But today was a busy day around the stadium. Dan Morgan Brandt Tilis had press conferences today to talk about what's been a really busy last couple weeks around here.
Yeah, maybe we should have put them on a big screen like we're at a movies, because they definitely had a lot to say. Although I think I'd want to be Nicole Kidman when we're at the movies.
No, you're Jean Siskel. It's settled.
I don't even know who that is.
But
but
we'll work on that later.
We did learn a lot of new names over the past couple of weeks. Dan Morgan and Brandt Tilis talked about them today. And of course, the emphasis was on defense. I mean, as Dan Morgan said, we added 3 guys up front, added to the linebacker core, started to address the back end with the safeties, but still a lot of work to do there.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Dan Morgan, and if anybody hasn't learned this by now, you should know it. When he tells you he's going to do something, believe him. He sat at the combine and told us, we're going to address that defense early on. They did. You go out in the opening hours, you get a Tershawn Wharton, a Bobby Brown III, Patrick Jones, the pass rusher, Trayvon Merrick at safety, and it's just boom, boom, boom. Those deals were clicking. The other thing that kind of stood out to me from the press conference today, Brandt Tilis talked about this a good bit. There were reports, obviously, during those early hours of free agency about Milton Williams and the Panthers being interested in him. Milton Williams is not a Carolina Panther, as you may have noticed. But, they had to adapt. I mean, they were in those discussions at a certain point, and Brandt was really interesting talking about the communication and the preparation that goes into this on the front end, so when that part doesn't go the way you might have anticipated, you've got a whole other plan over here that you put into place.
Yeah, I know you liked that part a lot too. And I think it's interesting because this is largely a reason why Brandt Tilis is here and why he was given the title he is. He even made the comment when talking to reporters today that, his position is one that not every team values as much as he is valued here. And it's for reasons like this where you're looking at the deal that Milton Williams did get with the Patriots, and you might come back over here to the Panthers with Brandt saying, we had a plan, we had a number that we were willing to go up to, and we weren't going to go past that because it does affect the rest of the team. And you saw it then affect the people that they did bring in and those contracts, where it's not so much 2025, but it's 2026, 2027. Right. Because that's kind of what Brandt's known for, is looking down the road.
Yeah, you have to be unemotional about those decisions. And it's hard to be unemotional when the phone's ringing left and right and there's millions of dollars flying all over the league. But that's kind of the job. I mean, you've got to look down the road. It's not short-term gratification. Right. It's building out a team 3-4 years down the line. So there's still a good bit of stuff to do. They had safeties in earlier this week. Dan and Brandt mentioned the fact Julian Blackmon, Marcus Williams were here. We'll see if something happens with one of those guys, but there's some other odds and ends stuff. But by and large, the bulk of the work in free agency is done, and they're looking forward to the draft coming up here in about a month.
Exactly. And Dan Morgan made the comment, he said, I think with what we were able to do in free agency now gives us flexibility in the draft. There's some needs that aren't necessarily as quote-unquote glaring anymore. And he made the comment, he said, this is a good safety class in the draft, and so there's still some flexibility there. And he made the comments, particularly with the safety unit, the work is not done. Right. There's still more to do. Now they have the ability to kind of go into the draft with able to take a breath and go, okay, we have 9 picks. It is still a deep pass rusher class. It's also a deep safety class. Let's kind of have the flexibility to look at this from a wider point of view.
Yeah, no doubt. And rest assured, this was a busy March. They don't always want it to be this busy. In an ideal world, you're not going out and signing 6 people from outside in free agency, and that's not the business they want to be in.
It was down from last year, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, they had a lot of work to do to get it to this point. In the future, they'd rather just focus on all those draft picks, and that's where our focus will go to. Over the next month or so, as we get into April and the draft, it's going to be a lot of draft content here at Panthers.com. Make sure to check it all out. We've got in-depth pieces, position by position through the draft, all that good stuff. Click on the YouTube channel, subscribe to all that, and read Panthers.com every day.
That's what we're here for.
And get your popcorn. It's going to be another busy month around here.